So, what's going on with the Asians? In late July 2025, basically a few days ago, a brief border conflict erupted between Thailand and Cambodia, the most intense fighting the two neighbors had seen in over a decade. This short clash, lasting only about 5 days, saw both sides roll out tanks and armored fighting vehicles along their frontier. It wasn't a full scale war, but it certainly looked like one, and definitely made some aunts watching too much CNN go crazy. Again, in those border hotspots, tanks exchanged fire, rockets flew, and villages, as usual, were caught in between. In this video, we'll look at how tanks and other AFVs were used in this short conflict and what types of vehicles each side had, to get the bigger picture of how fighting looked like. The clashes began on July 24, 2025, after a period of rising tensions. A landmine explosion injured Thai soldiers and triggered firefights along disputed sections of the border. What started as a localized incident near an ancient temple quickly escalated into fierce fights at multiple points along the 800-kilometer frontier. Both countries blamed each other for firing first, and within hours, heavy weapons were in use. Now that's what I call brotherhood. Cambodia fired rockets and artillery into Thailand. One Cambodian BM-21 Grad rocket salvo even hit a Thai gas station and hospital, causing civilian casualties. Thailand answered with airstrikes from F-16 fighter jets and counter-shelling. Civilians on both sides had to flee. By some reports, over 200,000 people were displaced in just a few days of fighting. At least 38 people were unalived, including soldiers and many civilians, before a ceasefire was agreed on July 28. Both Thailand and Cambodia deployed tanks and armored vehicles to the border once the fighting kicked off. The Royal Thai Army has a mix of modern and older tanks. On the high end, Thailand fields some VT-4 main battle tanks, which are modern Chinese-made MBTs, and Oplot tanks, which are Ukrainian-designed T-84 Oplot MBTs. These are relatively new and advanced tanks with modern fire control systems and heavy armor. Thailand also brought out some Cold War veterans like the M60A3 Patton tanks supplied by the US and even some upgraded M48A5 Patton tanks which are older than the M60 but modernized with a 105mm gun. In addition, Thailand used light tanks like the British-made FV101 Scorpion, which is a fast reconnaissance tank with a 76mm gun for scouting and fire support. As for armored troop carriers, the Thai side deployed Striker 8x8 wheeled APCs acquired from the US and the Universal M113 tracked APCs. They even pulled out Chinese-made Type 85 tracked armored personnel carriers. The Royal Cambodian Army's armored force, on the other hand, was smaller and consisted of older tanks. Cambodia relied on Cold War-era tanks like the Soviet T-54, T-55, and the Chinese Type 59, which is basically a Chinese copy of the T-54, 55. These tanks are decades old, about 1950s technology, but they can still have an effect with their 100mm guns. In terms of armored vehicles for troops, Cambodia has a number of older armored personnel carriers, many also of Chinese or Soviet origin, such as Type 60 or Type 63 APCs, and possibly some Type 85 variants from China. For long-range fire support, Cambodia came to the fight with multiple rocket launchers. Notably, they used the good old BM-21 Grad 122mm rocket launchers and Chinese-made rocket systems like the PHL-90 to attack Thai positions. One thing Cambodia didn't have was air power. They had no combat-ready fighter jets to counter the Thai F-16s over their territory. In essence, Cambodia's armored firepower was most vintage tanks and lots of rockets you would rather see in a museum than on the battlefield. Once the shooting started, tanks and other AFVs were thrown into action on multiple fronts. This wasn't a prolonged tank campaign, but there were several notable armored clashes and maneuvers during the few days of fighting. In at least one area, tanks from both sides traded fire directly. Near a border location called Ta Tauf, Cambodian T-55 and Type 59 tanks faced off against Thai T-84 Oplot and M60A3 tanks. Yes, a tank-on-tank battle in Southeast Asia in 2025. Videos circulated online showing Royal Cambodian Army tanks trading shots with Thai tanks in this area. It's a rare sight these days to see actual tank duels, and it underscores how intense the border fighting became. Thailand responded to Cambodia's attack with a land and air counterattack codenamed Operation Yuta Bodin, which means Battle for the Sacred Land. As part of this, the Thai army launched tank attacks in several sectors. For example, Thai tank units advanced in the Sam Thai area of the border and engaged Cambodian forces to secure contested ground. At another hotspot near Khao Sata Soam, Thai forces reported destroying two Cambodian tanks around July 24. This was a Thai claim. Cambodia didn't confirm losing tanks, but Thai officials were quick to announce that two enemy tanks were knocked out. Thai tanks were also used in a fire support role around the Preah Vihear temple area, which is also one of the disputed sites. Thai tanks shelled Cambodian positions to pave the way for Thai infantry to move in. The Thai F-16s, meanwhile, were targeting Cambodian units, including reportedly bombing Cambodian division command posts. Cambodia's strategy, on the other hand, with its armor, was to push hard in certain spots despite inferior military hardware. Cambodian forces attempted an armored assault in an area called Kham Thai on July 25th. The Royal Thai Second Army reported that Cambodian troops, supported by armor, tried to press very close to Thai positions, basically to negate Thailand's advantage in artillery and air power by engaging at point-blank range. Cambodian units also seized some Thai-held areas early on. For instance, Cambodian troops, likely with tank support, occupied two small temple sites, Ta Muan Thom and Ta Krabe, during the clashes. However, whenever Cambodian tanks concentrated, they became targets for Thai counterattacks. Without an air force to protect them, those tanks had to worry about Thai drones and F-16s overhead. In fact, Thai officials accused Cambodia of deliberately keeping their troops and armor intermingled with Thai forces to prevent airstrikes. Lighter armor and APCs played supporting roles. We saw Thai Striker armored carriers and M113s rolling up with troops to reinforce the front. Thai FV-101 Scorpion light tanks also moved in, likely to scout and to guard the flanks of the heavier tanks. On Cambodia's side, armored vehicles were used to move infantry and to deploy their rocket launchers. Cambodian armored trucks carried rocket artillery into positions such as the BM-21 Grad units seen reloading and firing in Preah Vihear province. Essentially, tanks did not operate alone. They were part of a larger system. Thai armor worked with infantry, artillery, and air support, while Cambodian armor worked with rockets and foot soldiers. It's the classic combined arms concept, just on a smaller, localized scale. But you should keep in mind that the tank duels and armored engagements did not single-handedly decide the conflict. In the big picture, other factors played a bigger role. For instance, Thai air strikes, including alleged use of cluster munitions, had a major impact on Cambodian forces. Thai spokesman later neither confirmed nor denied using cluster bombs, but they argued that rockets hitting their civilians justified all necessary measures. The fighting finally halted when international pressure and regional diplomacy kicked into high gear. By July 28, under mediation by neighboring countries and even a nudge from the US, which was, by the way, negotiating trade deals with both sides, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to an unconditional ceasefire. The ceasefire took effect at midnight, ending the conflict before it could spiral into a larger war. In those 5 days, neither side won any significant territory. Both basically returned to status quo positions, each claiming they stood their ground. But we can draw insights about the role of tanks and AFVs here. Tanks showed resolve but had their limits. Tanks and armored units were crucial for both sides to make a statement. Thailand's use of its modern tanks showed that it was serious about defending its border, and Cambodia's deployment of every tank it could field showed it wasn't going to back down easily. In engagements like at Ta Tauf, tanks were literally on the front lines. However, this conflict also showed the limits of tanks. Whenever Cambodian tanks tried to maneuver offensively, they risked swift destruction from airstrikes or precision-guided weapons. Thai tanks, while more advanced, could not just charge unopposed either. They moved deliberately with air cover, mindful of Cambodian rocket fire and possibly mines. The short class showed us that combined arms warfare is still really important. Tanks operated as part of a system. For Thailand, having air superiority was a big advantage. Their aircraft could hit Cambodian armor or artillery before it got too effective. For instance, none of Thailand's jets were shot down. Cambodia's Chinese-made air defense missiles struggled to even engage the F-16s. Meanwhile, Cambodia used dispersion and close fighting to mitigate that disadvantage. This is effective to a point, but not a winning strategy. Also, Thailand reportedly used drones to drop grenades on Cambodian positions. Anyways, that was it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to follow me on Instagram. This was a boring outro, but I still hope I'll see you in the next video.